Hey guys, it's Hogan here, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to add blog posts to your Shopify store. I'll also show you guys how to display them and categorize them and set everything up the right way, because to be honest, it can get very confusing. So why should you actually create blog posts for your Shopify store? Blog posts are a great way to share updates and news as well as how-to guides for your customers. But not only that, when you actually create content, it actually helps your entire store rank higher on Google, driving more organic sales for your website. So without much further ado, let's get into the tutorial. Step number 1 is to add in your blog post for your Shopify store. So navigate to the dashboard section and then click on content, scroll down a little bit and then click on blog posts. So if you don't have any blog posts yet, you should click in the middle. I think there's a button there where it's create your first blog post. If you have already, then navigate here and click on the top right. Here is basically where we enter in the title of our blog post. So I actually created a dummy blog post on ChatGPT, and I'm just going to paste it in. So I don't recommend creating your entire blog post using ChatGPT. I recommend writing it yourself and using ChatGPT or any AI tools to help you, because Google doesn't like AI generated content. They will sort of not rank your website. So I'm going to paste that in. And what you can do is you can start sort of formatting your blog post. So for example, they have the word editor features over here. So maybe we can hit on enter. Okay, so that's not good. We can format that properly. Let's go over here. Okay, like that. And then here, you want to set it to either heading 2 or heading 3. Heading 1 is only reserved for your title. That's the H1 tag. And normally when Google scans your website, your content, then that's going to be the most important thing that they look for. Okay, so generally for each page, you should only have one heading 1, which is the H1 tag. And the rest can be anything that you want, basically. I'm going to set it to heading 3. What you can do is you can also add in images as well. So for example, we can add an image over here. For example, maybe let's say this one here. Click on done. Okay, we have an image. You can also link specific words as well to specific product pages or other pages. So for example, let's say you have this product over here, and in the article or in the blog post, you are talking about something that's related, and perhaps you can link to that. So for example, here, we can click on the insert link, paste in the link. Normally, I like to open in a new window because I like to keep people on the same page, especially if you are linking to an external link. You definitely want to select open in a new window, insert link, and then you have your link there. You can also add in videos. It's just a text editor here, very basic, and I'll go through and do that myself. But we're going to scroll down. So the excerpt is basically a summary when you display your blog post on your homepage or blog. So here we can add in a brief summary. If you don't, then it's generally going to pull probably from the first few sentences on your blog post. But if you do have one, you can just paste it in here like that. I'm going to change it to that. And then for the search engine listing, so how is it going to display in search engines? You can click on edit, scrolling down here for the meta description. So this is basically how it will show in the Google, for example, this one. So you want to make sure that the meta description is nice and summarized so that people can click into it, because sometimes it is just pulling straight from the article and it doesn't really make sense, and that prevents people from clicking into it. And you can also edit the URL handle here. Sometimes if it's too long, then you can delete some keywords in there, and if you're happy with it, we can save it first. Now on the right hand side here, you want to make sure your blog post is visible. You can also set the visibility date, and here we're going to add a featured image. So we can set in maybe this one here, click on done, the author, the blog. So the blog is sort of like your categories. So in WordPress, if you have worked with WordPress before, generally it's going to be called categories. I actually prefer that name, but I'm not sure why they call it blog here. But anyways, you can add different blogs or different categories. For example, news, style and fashion, tips, travel and style. and you can create one here. So maybe if you're doing reviews, like specific reviews on products, then we can create a new category. But for this one here, I'm going to set it to my tips category, like that. So for the tags, it is basically going to help with the internal search and organization for your own store. So for example, we can add in a few tags here. So I generally recommend just like 3 or 5. So it's just like this, for example, like face shape, sunglasses guide, style tips, eyewear fashion, things like that. And then here we've got the theme template. So I'll talk about this a little bit later because I think this is actually really important, but not many people explain it properly. Let's go to save here. And that is published and visible. So we can click on view and we can take a look at how that blog post look. So currently I'm actually using the Horizon theme by Shopify. It's actually a new theme. I do have a full tutorial on it on my channel. I'll link it in the description below. So maybe you might be using the Dawn theme. It might be a little bit different in how it actually looks, but you should still see your blog post appear, okay? Once we have our blog post, now the next step that we need to do is to actually create a blog page where we're basically going to display our blog post. So to do that, we need to go to pages. So click on online store first, click on pages. Here we have our other pages. We're going to click on add page and we're going to title this page blog. For the content, we can leave it empty, and visibility, we want to make sure it's visible. For the template page, just keep it as default for now and click on save. Now we have created the page. What we need to do is to actually add it to our store's navigation. If we go to our store, you can see that the blog page doesn't automatically appear. So we need to add that to our menu navigation. Head back here, go to content again, and then go to menus. So normally you'll have your main menu, which is the top menu here, and you may have a few footer menus, which is the bottom. So we're going to add it to the top menu as well as the footer menu. Click on add item, type in the name that you want to call it. I'm just going to call it blog, and find the page, select blog, save it. Now we can head back to the menu. So you can click on this here, and I'm also going to add it to the footer menu as well. So let's click into this one, and let's just delete this one here. Click on add menu item, find the page again, and save it. So now if we refresh our page, then we should see the blog page on the top and on the bottom. Now you can also do one more thing. So let's just say we click back into the menu again. So click here, go to menu. Then we can also add menu item, and we can actually go to the different categories that we created. So this is going to be the blogs. And let's say, for example, we got style and fashion, or maybe travel and style tips. Select one of those and just click on save. We can click on it and we can try to indent it below blog. So if we do that, we can click on save. Then we can refresh that. Okay, so as you can see, when you hover over blog, it's going to drop down with your blog categories. So this one is the tips, and it's going to link to that category, which displays your blog post for that specific category. So you can actually do that, or you can leave it as default. I'll show you guys how to set it in. So let's click back onto the blog page. Now, as you can see, normally on the blog page, you won't have any content there. Like your blog post won't automatically be displayed there. You need to actually add it in with the theme builder. So let's go back over here. So this is step number 3 to display your blog post. So I'll show you guys how to display it on your blog page as well as your home page. Let's click on online store and let's navigate to customize. So this is our home page. What we need to do is we need to go to our blog page. So click over here. Let's go to pages. And what we want to do is actually, we need to create a new template, okay, for our blog page. So create a template, and then we are going to type blog, and this can be based on your default page. click on create template. Okay, so now what we need to do is we're creating the blog page sort of layout. And after this, we're going to link it to that blog page. But what you can do first of all is on the preview, select change and select your blog page. So this is going to preview your blog page. All right. Generally, you should have something similar to what I have here. It might be a little bit different depending on your theme. So what we're going to do is actually, let's just delete everything and start from scratch so you guys can see how we do it. Okay, so we don't have anything here. We've deleted all the sections. So generally everyone should have this screen here. So click on add section. You can actually select the hero. And then here, we're going to delete this, okay? And then click on connect dynamic source. And then we're gonna click on title. So what that is gonna do is basically gonna pull that title that we set in for a blog page, which is called blog. So we don't have to always change the title. Now, for the description here, we can do something like just something basic. Latest news and tips, something like that, okay? Now we can also change the size of it. So let's go to custom and we can change the size to like 20. For the button, so normally we don't really need any buttons, so we're going to remove that. And then we're going to click into the section here, scroll down, and we're going to make this height of this section a little bit smaller, medium, maybe small, like that. Then we can also add in a hero image. So click into the hero section, and normally you'll be able to select your image that you want. But I think I'm just going to leave it as is. I think it's quite nice as it is. So once you've done that, then we're going to click on save. So now the next section is we can click back here and we can add a new section. So normally if you're using Dawn, I'm pretty sure you can select the blog post feature to display your blog post. Now this is the newest theme by Shopify, so it's a little bit different. So click on custom section, and I actually really recommend it because it has some really cool features. Click on back over here, and then here, click on add block, and then click on generate. So this latest theme actually has the generative AI features, which is really, really cool. I'll show you in a second. So click on it. And then here, I want to display my blog post. So for the prompt, I'm going to do create a 3-grid, or you can create a 4-grid or however many grid, but I think 3 is like just perfect. 3-grid blog post display, allow for individual post selection. So what I'm saying is that I want to be able to select the individual post and also allow for category, maybe category selection. And then I think that's enough. And then we're going to hit on enter. And that's going to basically generate the code as well as generate the layout for us. It's going to take a few minutes, but I think it's super cool. Okay, so I think it has finished generating. Now, what you're going to see is on the left-hand side, you'll see the editing functions here, which is going to allow you to edit the display here. So as you can see, we've got the different things. So for example, the heading. So we're going to delete this heading because I think we don't need it since we have a heading here. Let's just delete that. And I don't think we need that one. So maybe we can copy that actually. Let's go over here and just paste it into here. All right, I think that sounds better. Let's click back here and let's just delete that. So now the blog post selection method, we can select from the individual post or we can select from the blog, which is the categories. For the blog page, maybe I'm going to display from the blog categories. So you can select which blog categories that you want to display. So for example, I think let's go travel and style. Then that's going to show the travel and style blog post. So as you can see, that's really, really cool. That's why I think this theme is amazing and I think it's only getting better. Once you've done that, then you can also actually select by individual article, which I'll show you in a second. And you can also edit how it actually looks as well as the different colors. So I'm not going to show you that right now. If you don't get exactly what you want, you can actually refine it further by giving it more instructions on how to set it up for yourself. So let's just add maybe, click into the section I'm going to add just some top padding there because I think it's just a little bit too close to the top. Let's just do 50 like that, and then maybe 50 for the bottom. Okay, so then add some space there because I don't think it looks too nice without any space. And what you can do is you can click on the section and then you can duplicate it. So for the top section here, maybe you can display your travel log post. And then for the bottom, you can display like a different category. So we can select the blog grid again. And then here we can select from the different categories. So click on replace, maybe select from the tips category like that. And then click on save. So I think that looks amazing. Let's click on the mobile view. I think that looks great as well. Once you created your blog page, you want to make sure you link it up. So click on the pages and then click on your blog page. And then here is set to the default page template, but you want to make sure you link it to the blog template. So here, you want to link it there and save. Okay, so that way when we view it, then it's going to display the blog page template. Otherwise, it's going to display the default one and you won't be able to see the blog posts. And we can navigate to the home page. So navigate to your home page and we can scroll down. So maybe I want to put the blog post down here. So I want to create a new section. So add new section. So with the Dawn theme, I think you can just add the blog post display. So look for that. Then here we're going to click on the little drop down and add block. And the cool thing is that we can just click on the AI generated one. It's actually saved already. So we can select that and we can click into it. And then here we can change it. So let's go down here. Instead of the post selection to be the blog, we're going to select individual post. So here on the home page, we can just display maybe the top blog post. So we can select it individually like this. So maybe this one, maybe this one here, and then maybe this one. So as you can see, there is some sort of display error, but I think what we can do is we can actually try to fix that as well. So as you can see, it doesn't display like the same as the blog, right? Because like everything is so small. So we can actually maybe regenerate this section. So let's just regenerate it really quickly. Let's just delete this. Let's just add another block and then you can generate it again. Okay, so let's just generate it again. So this is my edited prompt. So I basically also ask it to allow for the feature image size selection as well. So let's just see what it comes up with. Hopefully it's going to look good. So I regenerated it and I think that's a lot better now. So we can select the articles again. And sometimes you just need to regenerate it. I think that's fine. It's very easy to do. So let's just try that. And as you can see here for the featured image height, we can actually set that. So I think this is really nice. And we just set it maybe at 240. And then we can also edit what we want to display. For example, if you want to hide the tags, then I think we can just show that, hide that, sorry. And you can also hide the excerpt and you can edit everything here. Now the problem is you can't select the sort of the category post in here, but you can refine it further if you want to, or you can use the other one that you generated before. So then the other thing we need to do is just make sure everything looks good. So let's just add maybe 50 pixels on the top, 50 on the bottom, like that. And I think that looks great. So let's go back over here. And then for this custom section, I'm going to drag it above here, like that. And then we can add in the maybe the title. So here doesn't have the title selection. So yeah, it does sometimes have some issues, but you can definitely refine it. So add the ability to add a title and then you'll be good to go. Step number 4 is to customize your actual blog post. So click on the drop down on the top again and click on blog post. So blog post will actually have your templates as well. And what I do recommend is sometimes creating specific templates for specific blog post categories, because I will show you right now. let's just click on the default blog post layout. And depending on your theme, yours might be a little bit different. And you can basically customize it on the left-hand side here. So for example, if you want to hide this featured image, or if you want to edit it, you can click into it. So for example, you can hide it. I think it might look a lot nicer like that. And then you can just add your images in here. You can also select which blog post you want to preview. Okay. Now, the thing that we can do is we can actually add different sections to this blog post. So let's say, for example, we are selling maybe men's sunglasses here, or we're promoting it on this blog post. Then what you can do is add section, and you can add maybe the product collections. So you can select the product collections, like for example, the product list, and then we can click into that, select maybe the men's collection, like this, okay? And then you can also maybe set the product count to maybe just limit to 4. You don't want to have too many products. Then you can display your products below that blog post, right? So we can click on save. Now what happens when you do that is that for the default blog post template, all your blog posts are going to show the men's collection, right? So what you can actually do is you can actually go here and then create a template. We can have a template for maybe men's glasses, and maybe you can have kids glasses or women's glasses, and you can have a template for that. So let's just say create template. Then here, okay, for the men's glasses template, you'll just show the men's collection of glasses. If you navigate back to the default one, right, then we probably want to change this one. So we can change this one. Maybe for the collection, we can select maybe the best sellers. Okay, so for the default, it's just going to show the best sellers. If you have a specific blog post targeting specific products or people, then you can select and create a template for that. So let's click on save, and let's navigate back to the dashboard area. And what you want to make sure to do is, like your pages, you want to make sure you link it up. So let's say for the content here, let's go to the blog posts. So here, we're going to click into this blog post, and this one is linked to the default blog post template, but you do want to link it to men's glasses template that we created. Okay. So now if we navigate to that blog post, then what you're going to see is that it's going to be linked to the men's collection, right? And normally for all the other ones, it's going to be just linked to the default, which is going to be the best sellers, like that. Okay. One more thing that you can do is you can add and enable comments. So you can head back to your dashboard section here, and then go to content, go to blog posts, and then click on manage blogs. And then we can click into each individual one like this, and we can actually allow the comments. So normally you can set it to allow pending moderation. Otherwise, you can get a lot of blog posts which aren't moderated, and it's just going to be spam. So click on save, and you can do that for all of those. And then once you're done, we can refresh the page. Then you have a blog post section here. Now, if you really want to customize your blog post, the other thing that you can do is you can basically create a blog post template for each individual post, right? And then use the sort of editor to customize it. So what I mean by that is, let's go back here and customize. And let's go to one of the blog posts. So here we've created the template for the men's glasses, but you can create a new template specific for, let's say, this blog post here. And let's just say custom blog. You probably want to name it the blog post name. And what you can do is we can delete everything, okay? And also delete the actual blog post here, okay? So what we can do is blog post, the content, delete it like this, and maybe delete the blog post details, everything here, hide everything. And then what you can do is you can create section and just build out the section sort of like any other page. And that's if you really want to customize it. But I don't really recommend it because it just takes too much time. You can also use other things like Pagefly, Page Builder. That works a lot more similar to WordPress page builders. So that's pretty much it for this video, showing you guys how to add and display your blog post. Hopefully you found it useful. If you have any questions, you can drop it in the comment section below.